Hey everybody, what's going on? Bonner here, back inside of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and today I'm going to give you all my Aurelia the Baroness review. Now, if you've seen my Handsome Jack or Holodome review, let me go ahead and start off by saying, well, obviously this is all going to be my opinion, but I'm going to be as honest with you all as I can in these reviews. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So starting off, who exactly is Aurelia? Aurelia is Hammerlock's sister, and she has three different playstyles. One that is focused on the cryo element, another that is based on sniping, and another one that is based on co-op gameplay. Now the gameplay that you're going to be seeing in the background here is just going to be a little bit of the cryo build, nothing too spectacular, but I want to go ahead and touch on a few problems that I do have with this class to start off with. So let's get the negatives out of the way. As you can see in this screenshot here, this is what Aurelia's co-op skill tree looks like. Now let's remove every single skill that doesn't work in solo play. So as we can see here, this tree now looks extremely barren. We've already taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skills out of this skill tree, and this is a pretty significant thing. While Borderlands may be a co-op based game, or rather promoted co-op, it still is very heavily a single player game. So taking out pretty much a third of her skills in total does not help this character at all in terms of this review, and can be kind of off-putting to some, because there are a lot of Borderlands players out there who only play the single player experience, which is fine, but this character will not promote that. And the skills that you do get, even the capstone, only buffs you for a small percentage. It's not even that great. It's more to buff your servant than anything else, so the capstone can also be kind of bad. Now, that is pretty much one of my only glaring issues with this character. Overall, I had a blast playing through the story mode again with the cold money skill. Now, obviously, there is still the issue of the endgame not being, really there for the pre-sequel, but the character itself is very solid, and, it is extremely well done in terms of her dialogue. This is exactly what I would expect, a stone cold bitch to sound like. This is how I would expect her to react, to converse with the other people of Elpis. So, the voice acting is something that's going to be a bit of an acquired taste. You may not like the way that Aurelia kind of talks and interacts with people, but the way that it's done is very high quality and very well done, which is something that I really approve of. So as far as the voice acting and all that goes, you're definitely going to enjoy playing through as her, assuming you're okay with her personality. Now, as far as the cold money skill tree and action skill go, her action skill is, well, it's kind of interesting. So basically the way that it works is that you throw out this sort of, she calls it a trap, and it will sort of create this vortex of ice around that enemy, and it will deal damage to them as well as enemies around them. And you can buff this to do all sorts of things, to where it shoots out ice shards, or it creates a frost nova. All these different abilities you can have done here and added to your action skill, which is something that's really neat. And you can even change where exactly it goes. So if you want to change which enemy it's going after, then you can do that on the fly. And the charge time is relatively low, along with a couple of skills to improve that recharge delay as needed. Overall, I would say that her mobbing ability is pretty much one of the best inside of the pre-sequel. It's really hard to beat Nisha in terms of mobbing, but Aurelia is definitely up there, and is actually very survivable as well, due to the fact that she has a skill called Avalanche, which is the first skill inside of Cold Money, which increases your chance to freeze enemies. And because, cryo has a damage reduction to shields, she even has an ability to where cryo damage will deal more damage to shields than it normally would. So you pretty much can ignore, having to use any other element. Now this brings in one little flaw in combat. it doesn't prioritize any element other than cryo, which means that you are going to only want cryo weapons, which is not exactly a bad thing, but it devalues every other element and every other weapon type in this game. You're not going to want explosive, even though you're going to be using cryo and explosive, and you think amazing synergy, but you're losing DPS because you're just not using cryo weapons because she gets such a large bonus from cryo. Like I said, this is not exactly a negative, but it is something that is important to note, that it will devalue your love for certain elements, and you outright can't even use fire if you want to go down the cold money tree. Now, her sniping skill tree is honestly really well done, and I had a lot of fun playing through it, even though I'm not gonna lie, I'm a terrible shot with the sniper, so I can't really judge that one too well, which is why I stick to the cold money skill tree. But overall, the only qualm that I have with the sniping skill tree is that the final boss of this game can't be crit, and the I never miss skill tree, well, it increases your critical damage, so you're gonna have a little bit of a problem with that. But if you can crit the enemy, then you're gonna be one-shotting everything. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, overall, I like this character. I like what it can do. It's really well done. The voice acting is top-notch. This co-op skill tree, however, is not going to... The co-op skill tree can be off-putting to some, and she does have a very unique personality that is very different from all the other characters. But I think people can potentially, get over it and enjoy this character for what it is. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up my review of this character. If I had to give it a rating, originally it would have been an 8 out of 10, but due to the fact that one of the entire skill trees is completely, completely gone due to the fact that there's no co-op, I'd have to give this a 7. But overall, very solid DLC, worth the $10 investment. If you enjoy the pre-sequel, definitely pick up this character. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know that you like these reviews. I try and keep them as honest as I can and as clear as I can. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.